Thank you very, very much. All right. My name is Ayo. I welcome you all to this event. This is the open all hands of the deep funding community, and it is the 28th of January 2026. And it is our practice that we gather as a community to update, to have discussions, to make decisions, to inform, to share, and to learn. And today's event will not be an exception to that. It promises to be very, very interesting. We have some very good lineups. And without further or much ado, let us get right into it. We have a couple of things on our agenda. We have a presentation from the marketing circle. We have a presentation from the review circle. We have the Loomio outcome presentation, and then we have deep strategies update. And so we have about 80 minutes for that. We spent 4 minutes already. We have a 6-minute buffer. So hopefully in 90 minutes, we are done. Oh, Jan, too early. But please go ahead.
No, it's not too early. I wanted to add one small topic to the agenda and start with that one, which is introducing Ismail.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay.
If you allow me.
If I said no, would that be fine? would I get away with no?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
If,
Sorry.
if I said no, would I get away with it?
Oh, you can try and see.
Okay. Oh,
Come on,
so let it be on record that
don't
Yan
do
just
it,
threatened
Ayo.
me.
Ambush. We need to make a
Let
good
it be on
introduction
record
for
that Yan
Ismail,
just
right?
threatened me. Please.
So Ismail, you see how welcome you are here, right? They're really so eager to hear from you.
I see that it's gonna be fun here.
Yes. So we can have that for the first item. So yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Ismail is not new to this organization. He has been working for almost a year, but a little bit more in the background, taking care of high-level accounting, working with Eightfold a lot. Um, something, sorry, and doing all the fiat payments for us. And I, for some time, have identified the need for a bit more financial control. I started with a role description back in the summer of last year, but then a lot of things happened and this was postponed. Currently, there's also a role out for a data analyst person. There was a little bit with the same mindset. So we would like to have somebody who has an overall view of everything that's going on, who will do some analysis, who will watch out for undesired patterns, let me put it like that. Also, when we define budget, somebody who will actually track that and guard that and make sure that that if there's a danger of a person or team going over budget, that we are getting a warning in time. Also, if we would be successful in getting other entities on our platform, um, then for sure the finances will also become even more complex and integrated, etc. So yeah, this is a long felt need to have somebody who is really owning the financial perspective of this organization and the accounting of this organization. So Israel has been doing that a little bit more high level from a distance. And I agreed with FMC, the company that he's working for, that he would be more embedded in deep funding. So we're adding him to a number of channels today. You will be seeing Ismail more and more often in meetings like this one and wherever it's applicable. And yeah, looking forward to having him embedded and engaged and seeing what will come out of that, and will be a big relief. And help from me and Rafa as well to be sure that that financial component is really reliable and trustworthy. Ismail, please present yourself. I probably haven't given you the full honors that you deserve, so please.
Thank you, Jan. I appreciate it. I will keep it as short as possible. So I'm almost a year now in the entire ecosystem, and I have worked with multiple entities. I helped out with multiple entities, and the past year was more fixing stuff for Eightfold, historical accounting perspective related issues. And now, hopefully, I will go a bit deeper into Deep Fund. Honestly, I didn't even know that it was such a big entity. I'll be completely honest, Jan. So it's all new for me. I still need to get used to it, but it looks like it's going to be fun after all. So can't wait to start working with all of you.
Welcome and thank you for accepting the challenges, Maya.
Thank you, Rafael.
All right. Thank you very much, Ismail. You're welcome. Glad to have you in the ecosystem. We look forward to all the great things that we will do together. All right. Okay, so we can go forward. There goes our buffer. So we have to keep everything under tight management in terms of the time. So Abdul, I see you in the building, and I think you already have sharing access. So you will be presenting on behalf of the Marketing Circle, I believe. The Marketing Circle is presenting their social media analytics. Abdul, are you there?
Yes.
Can everyone hear me?
I can hear from you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All
All right. Good day to everyone. Thank you, Ayo, for giving me the sharing host. I'll be presenting the Marketing Circle social media activities for the year 2025. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's to save our time, it will be a kind of reading a narrative for you. We own the story. I want to tell you the story about what has happened in the previous year as far as our activities from the social media. So in 2025, the Deep Marketing Circle executed a high efficiency distribution model to dominate our digital footprint. So we leverage a cross-platform syndication strategy, and that earned us a publication about 2,671 posts across our 4 primary social platforms. And the cumulative output of this exercise generated about over 153,000 total impressions, and most importantly, drove more than 2,233 direct clicks into our ecosystem platforms. The ideation platform, RFP challenge, our main website, and all of these. So we have all of these direct click from across all of these social media posts that we made. Looking at the annual total alone, like we believe cannot tell the story. So we want to see what happened in the first half year and what changed in the second half year. And we named the title to be Tale of Two Halves. So in the first half year, we have to be the foundation phase for us and testing, because at that point in time was when I was admitted into the funding marketing circle. We are trying to get ourselves together and have things tested. So
could you zoom a bit more, please? Zoom a bit.
Sorry, you saying something?
Could you zoom a bit more?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Let me do that.
it's small. My screen. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So in the H2, we pivoted our strategic approach, and by that time, we are able to increase all our traffic across all the 4 social platforms about 300%. I remember the last time we were presenting in the first half year, we mentioned that we'll be increasing the activities by 5% or so. So we are not sure of what will happen, and we exhausted all our means, and we are reporting today we have about 300% increase in our traffic approved. So in the first half year, this is what we have in our total engagement as far as X platform is concerned. As you can see from the chart, we have total count post of 148 and few the total reach of about 37,000 plus. And we have the likes, the 1,104, and as you can see for other metrics. That is what happened in the first half for X accounts. On our LinkedIn, we made a total of 119 posts, and we were able to reach almost 10,000 people. We have 447 clicks. From that mentioned 2,000 plus clicks that we had overall directly to our ecosystem platforms. So in the half year from LinkedIn alone, we have about 447 clicks. And in our Telegram community, we have so much activities going on there, where we have about total of 1,113 messages, replies, the unique user that contributed in the discussions by about 624. I think what drove these activities during that time was a particular event that we had that Robert led. So much interactions, engagement from the community members. So we had this as the report for that time. Yeah, here comes to our YouTube channel. Yeah, we have total count of 30 posts, 1,500 reach, 93 likes, 8 comments, and 2.3 for engagement. This actually tells us a little bit of story because the difference is clear from other platforms. Now, when we look into this metric in the first half year, so we think of what can we do to improve on these numbers. And then here comes this strategic intervention that we term as acceleration phase. So we've learned from what we did in the previous time. Now, how can we improve our internal operations and efficiency to achieve much more better? And during the discussion, we have Andrea suggested that can we have some kind of monthly analytics so that we can learn what is happening from the previous times and perhaps to learn in real time what we can actually do much more better. And for that reason, we have this data-driven accountability to be part of our process internally, where we collaborated with analytics circle led by Oscar. So the main important part of this decision is to have not about reporting ordinary numbers, but we want to be sure of what we are doing right and what we are doing wrong, perhaps, or where we can improve more, or what is working for us that we can double down on. That was the essence of this analytics. And the second thing that we did was that Rakosi also suggested that to be more efficient after having okay.
Abdul, sorry to interrupt. Please, could you make your the screen bigger a little? Maria says, could you please make the screen bigger?
Okay, let me try.
So that people can read the text along.
I will drop the link on the chat as well. Is this okay?
Okay, that'll be nice. All right, if you can drop the link, then people can read along as well. Yeah, please go ahead. Right. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay. Let me try and all right. So another thing that we did that really helped us internally was creation of a content strategy calendar. This idea was brought by Rakosi. So we developed this to ensure that we track all our internal activities, moderation, and distribution of content. So you are able to track all content, we schedule when and at what point in time we have to make some posts. Because from the analytics that we had, we are able to discover that there are certain days that we add more engagement than others. So instead of just posting in the dark, so that helps us to strategically schedule posting for days that we add more engagement than other days. So another thing that we did was the content quality strategy. Now, you will believe that sometimes we argue on our calls that no, we can improve our this post actually happened because of this and that, all of that, and we receive feedback from internal as well that we can improve on our quality of creatives. Now, we collectively with Akosi work on a particular document that guide all creators to be very much inclined with the creative process. So there were strict guidelines to be followed when you are creating all of these content. And that's another thing that actually helps us from our internal activities. The last but not the least, that must be mentioned from what we recorded as a very great success in the F2 and the X2 is that the type of events that we actually marketed. And this actually tell us a very good story. That we must acknowledge that the nature of the events we marketed play a massive role. In the first half of the year, our campaigns around the SNet RFP and Dualathon in May, June saw a moderate traction. But however, the ecosystem activities in the second half naturally commanded more attention, where we have the BGI Ideation Challenge and Hackathon from October to December. So interactions and activities during that very particular time commanded a lot of tractions. We want to give kudos to the hackathon organizer, the Dev Outreach. We give a shout out to you. It was well thought out, and to other coordinators of other activities. Thank you very much for that. It really helps us in our social presence. So what really happened in the H2 after all these pilots? The outcome on our LinkedIn against 447 posts, directly, we move to about 1,789, meaning that people actually engage more. The click-through rate in our H2 is far more better than the H1. You can see the difference from 447 to 1,789 from LinkedIn. So, and that is what is matter to us, because we have about 26,000 impressions. Out of these 26,000 people that our post reach, so we have about 1,007 people reacting to that post. So that's a lot for us compared to what happened in the H1. So in our X, we recorded similar progress. As you can see, we have about 343 posts, which doubled the amount that we made in the first half year. So the impression also jumped to about 78,000 compared to what we had in the previous time. So almost everything had doubled in the second half of the process. But the most important thing, the little retraction that we had, was actually from the YouTube, and there was a particular indication that we did not really do well on YouTube. Initially, in the H1, we have about 1,576 impressions, reach. But in the second half of the year, we have only about 618 views. So we understand what actually caused this, and we are trying to look into that to ensure how we can best perform in this first half of 2026 as far as YouTube is concerned, by developing strategies on what to be done and we'll be very much willing to receive from the community ideas and initiatives that we can explore to ensure that we push our YouTube strategy as well, YouTube channel as well. So the summary of the whole story is that the internal operation is very, very much improved, and the monthly reporting, the organized calendar actually give us a very consistent growth. And the external focus, yeah, the story tells that, I mean, the analytics and the report tells that the builder focus events, RFP Identity Challenge, outperform administrative updates. So we update people from our social channels, important, I mean, like all these informations that we share across that might probably need to be spread to community member within ourselves, not the public place. So yeah, all of this does not happen automatically, and that gives us the privilege to actually recognize the contribution of our team members. So we have Andrea, Rakosi, and myself operating at the leadership level, coordinating, managing, containing, and checking all around our activities and all. Then I want to say a big thanks to Priscilla, Rubel, British, and Lucas for their exceptional performance in an high quality production of creatives. So that is that about what has happened in our social media activities in 2026, comparing H1 to H2. So I don't know if I'm too fast in presenting. I'm just much time focused. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Abdul. Please stick around to probably answer a few questions. Ubio's hands came up first, and then Raphael. Ubio, please go ahead.
Yeah. First off, congratulations. And I think this is a big leap from what I have been seeing as report from marketing. Like this is what I've always been expecting to see, right? Because now the numbers tell the story. So my quick question is, so obviously we've seen the amazing work you guys have done, but I'm a little bit curious on the YouTube. Right. And my question for the YouTube is not necessarily about, yeah, your explanation is clear that there was a lot of focus on the text basis, which is obvious, right? But my question is, what did you stop doing because the gap is too large, right? So, if, for example, we are having 1,000 views, right, in YouTube in H1, and then we are now having 900, like assuming it was 1,000, now we can the explanation of is because we're focusing on the other side becomes a very tenable explanation because yeah, but that drop, there's been over a 40% drop, right? From what I saw, I can't pick that, but I think my head quickly tried to calculate that, and I think it was almost a 40% drop. So that seems like um that something has been stopped, right? It's more than that. The fact that we are focusing on the other side. So if we are focusing on the other side, then the processes that were already existent in H1 are still going. It would only mean that there will be a marginal drop, right? But that is such a huge drop, and I would like to see if we can dig deep to find other explanations to that.
All right. Thank you very much, Ubio. I think I saw Rakosi hand raised. I'll allow him to speak, but before then, I want to give a quick response to that. But I know he will do much better adding more context. Part of what happened for the YouTube channel was that in the H1, we were posting some. We posted a lot of videos relating to educating people about deep funding, RFP, stuff like that. But we received feedback that the video production quality need to be improved. And to be honest, and to be transparent to the community, we are trying all our best possible means to ensure we improve on that aspect. There are other reasons and factors to that, and I can see my two bosses are already here to add more context to that. So, but for me, that is what I would say. Thank you very much.
Rakosi, do you want to speak to Mubio's question?
Yes, to Ubio's question.
Okay. All right, please go ahead. Please, can we keep it within a minute so that I can go to Raphael so that we can,
Sure.
Yeah, but thank you.
Yes, so in addition to what Abdul said, and what Abdul said is the main reason, right? We realized in H2, in the beginning of H2, that there was a high narrative drift in the video creation. We'd have some two creators would create videos that would be far apart from one another. Both videos would not speak the same brand language. They would not have the same brand identity. One font would be used in another video and another entirely different font would be used in another video. And the narrative would shift drastically. And so the goal was to create the content creation policy so that we can begin to align all the creations, all the material around the same brand identity. And it was around the time we started to enforce the branding guidelines a lot more. So it sort of, our production sort of dropped because we wanted to start focusing on quality and telling the same story, no matter the creator, than putting out content for the sake of putting out content. And so that's what caused the serious drop that we noticed. Now, we have to admit that we were supposed to do that rather quickly, but we didn't bounce back as quick as we should have. It took us a bit of time to align, right, and get all contributors doing the same. And at the same time, we also realized that the quality, we were being asked that the quality had to improve. So we had to work internally and select tools. And that took us a bit of time. It took us about 2 to 3 months to sort of adjust. And then the focus was given to the text base and other platforms. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there's a thumbs up from Obi. All right, thank you. Thank you, Rakosi. Thank you, Abdul. Raphael.
Yeah, first, congratulations, guy, on the document. It's something that I asked before. I would like also to have the before and the now, right, for us to compare. But it's clear from my perspective how the marketing improved in the previous 6 months and how we went from something less professional to more professional. And also it's understandable about these rules because as Rakosi mentioned, some things it has to be realigned, right? So therefore, this gap in numbers. Also, before I miss this again, congratulations to the marketing team. Really happy with the outcomes of the ideation challenge. In the beginning, we had not good numbers. I then talked to you guys. You said, yeah, let's make it. And then we reached 136 proposals or ideas in our portal submitted. So congratulations. Thank you very much for that. And you deserve it as you have the effort. And it's showed here, right, in the numbers itself. One thing, next topic that I would love to have now is in between data analytics, marketing, and operations. I would like to understand better the numbers behind or the cost behind this 153,000 impressions, really impressive, but I don't have much to rely on. So understand how much each impression costs, how much each click costs, in each channel, which channels these costs were higher and lower, and so on and so forth. The analytics won't give this because you would need to rely on the payments, right? Hours that we spent in this effort. And well, again, we have to have this from the operations side as well, the data, okay? So here is a challenge and project for you guys to discover how much we spent in each of these very well done tests that we have. And thank you again, thank you.
Right, thank you very much.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I got some time to write a few more questions than I originally started out with. My main remark actually is that while watching the presentation, I suffered a little bit from kind of cognitive dissociation because kept hearing 300% growth, 300% growth. But what I saw in the graphs were flat lines. I didn't see any graph that went up like that from 1 to 3 or something like that. So, and probably there's a reason for that, but I would like to understand that a little bit better. So this ties to my next question. So I've been seeing that Oscar put a lot of time in creating dashboards for marketing and also for other circles. Until now, I haven't seen a single dashboard myself. So I wonder, can we please have access to those dashboards and from marketing and maybe also other dashboards that is being created? And I'm not just asking that for myself, but on behalf of everybody here. So it would be great if Ubio is doing a hackathon, and then you would be able to see on the dashboard when there's a post about the hackathon how many views it got. Because it's not only interesting for you guys from marketing, it's interesting from everybody of us to see what our actions will deliver in kind of output. So yeah, I think it's a great initiative, and thank you for sharing this right now with us and giving that overview of a year. I think it is very appropriate to do that now and not tomorrow in the meeting about all the reports. Although there I would love a little bit more visual storytelling as well than just text on the screen, but that's another thing. So that is a good start, but let's think about how we can get more awareness for everybody about the data drivenness of their work and getting the rewards in data if they create a blog. So if you want to incentivize people to create a blog, then we have to show and report, hey, here's the blog, it got this many views. And then if Rafa gets 100 views, then of course I want to make a new blog and try to get 150 views or something like that. So that is kind of the culture that we could have. Then two little bit more detailed critical questions on the data part. You're talking about visits and views. Well, first thing, if I'm a data analyst, the first thing any data analyst would say, how do views relate to people or views to visitors? Yeah, I mean, if I open the same blog 4 times, am I counted 4 times or one? That's the first thing. Second thing is, are you segmenting the visitors and the viewers in any way? Do you know anything about who came and where they come from? Because this is really quite superficial, right? I'm sure you have more in-depth dashboards with more detailed about the people. And then the next question would be, what about retention? So if all these people come, do they stick around, or are they all people that come once and then think, well, this sucks and never come back again? That would be a very important thing to know, and that's what we can learn even more from than how many reactions a post will get. So yeah, I think we instead of congratulating each other with that curve, we should dive a little bit deeper in what that data means. And finally, and that's maybe the most important thing, is conversion. And I'm now thinking about registrations. So how did all this activity convert into registrations? I won't talk about proposals or jobs or whatever because we don't have that many, but registrations is quite an important thing. And how much did that another goal that I would like to see is, for instance, fully filled rich profiles. So going forward, that could be another target for you guys. So how do our actions result in rich profiles in our platform? So yeah, you're now measuring views basically and reactions, but we never had a talk about what the actual goals are. Or if we had, I probably would have said registrations and activity on our platform. And maybe it's there, maybe it was successful also, but it was not present in this presentation.
All right. Thank you very much, Jan. I will pick it one after the other. And on the first part, apologies for not sharing the dashboard. It's all concerned about the time allocation. So we just want to tell the story. And for anybody that is interested in the dashboard, I shared the link on the chat already. So you could, anybody can click the link and look through it. Another most important thing is that these days, I believe, I don't know if I'm correct, I start to be corrected. Narrative is everything, as somebody said on the chat. The best way you can tell the story, the best way for you. So, for the where all of this impression come from, this analysis does not actually look into that. But I remember one time during the half year, I reached out to Aslan to get all of these data because we can't get it from, I think Oscar could be very more responsible to speak on this, but I can tell that there was a time that we requested that very data from Aslan. We can't get it from X directly to understand what the conversion looks like from the internal, in the different operations, except that we were provided with that very data from people that are managing our public websites, whatever. So we can get the number of how many people that registered between these times and this period. Probably that is what we could have done to be part of this presentation, but we did not do that. But in the further presentation, we will look into that. But I remember one of these that I requested that data from Aslan, and it was a very good success for us. At that point in time, within 2 months, yes, I have the data with me. Actually, I have the data with me. Aslan shared with me. So we have about 1,000 registration during that very time. In about 2 to 3 months, there is 1,000 new registrations at that point in time. Now, what I can tell in a short story, in a short response to that is another thing that Rafael mentioned. We have quite a number of registration to the ideation proposal. They can just come all by themselves without much amplification that we did from the marketing side. So I'm sorry if I'm being too defensive. I apologize for that. And on the retention side, yeah, we are looking into different strategy to keep our existing fan, our community member that we already had. We are looking into different strategy, and we will be talking on them as of now until we have a very clear way forward on that. And another thing that you mentioned is the conversion. I think I spoke about that already. The conversion. How are we transforming these numbers into actual impact to deep funding as a whole? And I can tell that probably by next week, we'll look into that data, asking people that are managing our deep funding website, especially I think Aslan is the main point of contact for that, to have the data. So we can represent that as well by next week. That is okay by you.
If I can react quickly to this, what I'm aiming for. So if you're just saying, hey, we had 100 clicks last month and we have 200 clicks this month, well, that's very interesting, but it's a vanity metric. It doesn't give you any meaning and you don't learn too much from it unless you go deeper. What you could have done, even if you can't track what somebody is doing in X and what he is then doing on our platform, you could look for correlation. So which kind of spikes on X correlate with spikes on the website? And then how does that correlate with spikes in registrations or people leaving or whatever? I would be very interested in what the hackathons have been doing for registrations, for instance, and how posts around that influence things. And so, yeah, we can make all kinds of connections between different activities we do, and then figure out which things have most value. And then we can think about, like Rafa was saying, what is worth more to spend a week or let's say 40 man hours, people hours on creating 200 posts, or is it better to use that same time on a video, and then you only have one? Or, well, whatever. We can have all kinds of. So those are the kinds of insights that we're looking for. Which things are really effective, which trigger, and then also looking at possibly at is this actually our target audience? So the people that do register, are they senior developers? Are they people looking to earn some money? Are there people that actually have some expertise and value to offer for our ecosystem, or not, and in what way? So that would require a deeper dive than just the dashboard. So I'm not just talking to you, Abdul, or to marketing. This is also for data analytics. This is when we get real value if we put all these different things together, in my opinion. That is where the real value of that data is.
Yeah, all right. I think Andrea wants to.
Yeah, thank
But
you.
yeah, no need to respond. I've made my point more than clear, I think. So
Well, actually, I wanted to say that it might not be visible. I think I already said that before. It might not be visible how much effort and work marketing has been doing in terms of how many people are registering or how many people are coming in to the community or participating, because we don't until now we don't have a way to measure that. One time we talked about it with Oscar, and he proposed using links that would let us know how many people registered, for example, from a post that we made. So we are still trying to do that, because yeah, it would be a little complex to measure how many people we are bringing in from the marketing, from the social media. But there's a possibility to do it, and that's where Oscar comes in. I don't know if he's here, but we talked about it before, and these links could be helpful to see what people marketing is bringing. But for example, when Rafa said they got many people in the ideation challenge, I think that's a way to measure it, because by sharing the posts and videos and different interesting information that we've been sharing and videos that we've been creating is how people come and get interested, and they sign in different ideas or events. I think from there we can catch a little bit of how much marketing is making a difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I say one thing there? So
Yes.
the numbers for ideation, that is an interesting result. Then we should also look at the quality of the entries. And I noticed from what I've seen that I really like the qualities of the quality of the entries that I saw in the last challenge that we did around agentic services or something. Whereas I was not that impressed by the ones that I saw from the first thing that was ongoing. So even there, we can be even digging a little bit more. I mean, it's great that we can do something and we see a result on the side. That's absolutely great. But even there, we can be a little bit more self-critical and saying, okay, and did this actually deliver the core value? So we had conversations over the past year about target audiences and who we would like to see on our platform. So if we have all kinds of initiatives, then we should try and find a way if they deliver results in the terms of target audience. And I know we can't measure everything. It's not a perfect, well, probably it wouldn't be a perfect world if we could measure anything. That would be scary, but it's the intent that I'm mainly reacting to right now. It doesn't matter that some things we can't measure or can't measure yet, but there should be an intent, not just for the kind of vanity metrics on, hey, look at this great graph here, but also did we really deliver on our purpose?
Yeah, before Gael comes in, because I think he wants to defend a point. um, yeah, actually, since we learned we needed to focus on senior developers, which was, I think, in December, we've been trying to adapt our strategy towards attracting senior developers and more ideators as well for a fan base. So if you give us some time, probably we will come up with different ideas and strategies to bring in people who are more, who has a high level of knowledge for this type of events. We are currently having conversations with the other marketing circles to come up with the strategies in order to bring these people. So it's gonna take some time before we create all these strategies, because as we discussed previously, it requires some technical knowledge from our side, and the only way we can contribute is by bringing in some people from the outreach, like Ubio or Riyadh, who has this knowledge, this technical knowledge. And we have been trying to come up with challenges for them. So we're trying just to create in both. In developer outreach, we had a conversation yesterday about new ideas to bring these people into the community. And we also been talking about it in the marketing circle. So this is a conversation we are having currently, and just give us some time and we'll come with some great ideas and strategies to bring them. I know we need more quality in these areas, but it's something we have to work on, and it's, like cross-circle activities and agreements, it takes some time. So we have to do that, and it's gonna take a while, but in the retain area, what we're doing is the newsletter. We have a newsletter for the external community, and we are currently developing, along with Bia from the Outreach Circle, an email marketing, which also will serve as a retaining strategy. And also we're trying to bring information that people would appreciate, like technical information, so they stay. Like, for example, we've been uploading videos of SNET, of Ben, Janet, and different personalities, and also interesting videos about ASI and information, blog posts. So that's also another way to retain them. And currently we're thinking on how to create more engagement. So these metrics that Abdul just shared are letting us know how the engagement is going, because that's what we want. We want people to be active in our social media, and that's what we were trying to show. So, but yeah, I mean, there are many things we still have to work out, and as soon as we have more strategies, we'll let you know. And I think that's all from my side, and I'll give the time to Rakosi.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. I was worried that, do you know, Rakosi wants to still say something? and now I'll be concerned if Rakosi still has something to say. because it just means that we are going to be here for so long. Because you hope Andrea has
So,
said the things you
so
want to
let me
say.
make it short. Let me make it real short. So I want to agree a little with Yan, because in tomorrow's report, you will realize that, and I'm not saying that to say my team is wrong. You know, I think they made the point, so I'm not going to repeat them. But in tomorrow's report, you're going to realize that most of the work in H2 of 2025 was done building systems for the marketing circle, right? So that this year we can scale up. That's what the most of the work was done on. What was done for. So the ability to track a click from a social media post all the way to a converted contributor or to someone who created an account on the platform was what we started out with. With Oscar, we worked on a plan and we initiated it. But then, you know, we realized that there were some challenges internally that we had to solve for if we wanted to scale that properly. And it took us time to solve for those challenges instead, right? We had to create systems. So I think the problem that we had in H2 and we saw for most of them were infrastructure problems, right? Creating the rails so that this year we can be able to scale. And the rail that Yan just mentioned, being able to track a click all the way to the website, we haven't been able to completely build it with the analytics circle yet. But now that you mentioned it, it's going to be what we focus on most. But some of the infrastructure that we've been able to build, which we will present tomorrow, such as automating certain work processes, such as being able to enable community outside of deep funding to create content that aligns with the brand. Those were things that were also challenges that we had to solve for first. So I think it was more of a time problem than not being aware of problem. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
All right. At this point, I'm going to have everyone speak on at 1.5x speed. Nobody's allowed to speak at 1x anymore.
2.0, Ayo.
All right.
Actually, it's a message to all the circles, not only the market circle or the presentation here. The number one enemy of things being done is perfection. Keep doing what you are doing. It's better to bring here something incomplete, but that is perfectly good, or it's something that's not wrong, it's right. And then you receive the input, feedback, and so on for us to discuss. That's why we created this all hands here, okay? You might have as a goal the perfection, but don't hold up in bringing what your findings and what you built to us. This is very important, and that's the message that I want to bring here. Jan's role is to push, and he is right? We have to push for the excellence. I have to push for the excellence also, and your role is also to push for excellence. But don't feel diminished because you are not perfect at this stage. Don't feel the fear that you are not perfect and you are not bringing us the data or information that you have, because it's together building what we are aiming here, okay? And IO 2.0, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Andrea, Lakosi, Abdul, and everyone who asked questions and pulling all of the insights. We'll go right to the review circle on the revised milestone review form and integration with the review portal. I do not see Kwesi. So is it Paulo or Slate so that I can run some share?
Yeah, that'd be me.
Okay. Paulo, that's you, right?
No, that's me, Slate.
Slate who you present today. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So Slate, if you like to share screen,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can now. Slate, promise to keep within time.
Yeah, I'll
please.
be quick.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes, we can now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting the milestone report from the review circle. We changed the format for the milestone reports last year by the end, and I'm gonna show you like the flow by which we generate these milestone reports, and how do reviewers submit them, and how do admins manage the reports. So first I'll log in from a reviewer side to showcase the flow from the reviewer's perspective. And by logging into the portal, they go to the milestone report submit section from here, from where they see all this report with the 4 criteria and approve and rejected option. So as you can see, from this drop down over here, they can select the code for the project that they are assigned to, and some details get filled automatically. We are also automating the milestone title, number, and budget. Since they changed, we are progressing forward with that. So I'm just gonna move along with the submission. And the section 2 is for the test run verification. So in case a team provides a test run link or a prototype link, so they can verify from the section 2. Then is the milestone description and the test URL. And then we move to the criteria section. So this is the main point which we integrated. And from this, we are also doing the analytics for each of the reporting of each milestone that the team submits. So it has 4 criterias: whether the milestone matched the description, the quality and completeness, the accessibility of that evidence, and the budget alignment. Now, it has 3 criteria that's stated in the legend: 1 for fully met, partially met, and the not met. I'm gonna continue with this. And as I select the criteria from the 1 to 3 options, this criteria rating, which is stated over here, that also changes. So it's a division between all the 4 criterias, and it states like how well a milestone was delivered during their submission. And then you have the section 4 where you can approve or reject the milestone. Approving, it's a single paragraph you can write, and for rejecting, what was missing and suggested changes. So for now, I'm going to approve it and going to click on report submit section, and there we go. Okay, so after the milestone is submitted, a pops up notification pop up, and which has the PDF, and from here we can view the milestone report form which was changed, and we worked alongside the marketing circle with this. Lucas helped us in generating or creating this format for the report, and as you can see, it's a beautifully generated report which is sent to the team. It has less data, so that's why it's kind of cutting from in between, but I'll show you a different report. I hope I'm sharing the report screen and it's not the portal screen, right?
It's okay.
Okay.
You can see
All
the
right.
report.
So I'm sharing a different report that's from a project. So it has more detail. So it looks something like this. It has the milestone description, the deliverable link, the project title, and the proposal link. And then it has the 4 criterias, and you can see the rating that's given by the reviewer for each of the 4 criterias, then the justification for all the criterias. Then we have the test demo thing, and then the final recommendation, whether it's approved or rejected, and the status, criteria met, and the budget that's allocated to that milestone. And now just quickly hovering over to the admin side. And then also, sorry, I forgot one thing. So after all of this is done, then the reviewer has to go to the operations form, and they can click on this and fill out this form as well, just to keep record in the operations portal side. So afterwards, I'm going to go to the admin login, which is this one. And if I log in from my ID, Admins can view the reports from the admin management section, going to the milestone reports. And over here, they can see all the reports that is generated. And as you can see, I just submitted a report from the test user, and I can view this, and it opens up right over here. And we also have an analysis tab that we are upgrading, working with Analytics Circle as well. Gustavo is our main endpoint with the Analytics Circle. So from over here, right now we only have the data for the reporting. So a global overview gives the total reports submitted to the portal, approved, and the rejected rate. And yeah, so who did the reports? It shows up right over here. So yeah, that's the portal. And yeah, if anybody has questions, please. I
There's a
made it quick.
manual internal. Yeah, there's a manual internal if the review has some doubts too.
Yeah.
Jan has their right hand.
Yeah, and you're of course very scared for me giving all kinds of critical remarks now, as I usually do. But I think this is lovely. I think it's great. And actually, the reason why I put up my hand is because lately I've been trying to create a kind of library of short videos that explain all the things we do and we build. And it is for two purposes. One is for internal purposes because, yeah, we are trying to collaborate more with other entities in and around SingularityNet, and they have no clue. Like Ismail was just saying, I didn't know, and he was working with us, and he said, I have no idea that Deep was this big. Other people in SingularityNet have no clue about all the things that we are doing and all the things that we are building. So I would like to have some videos that explain, and it doesn't have to be too fancy. Actually, a recording of this is already 80% of what we would like to have for this purpose. Well, let me first state the other purpose. The other purpose would be to have a kind of library of really short videos for marketing purposes to help onboard third parties that would like our platform. And in that case, we don't need to go through all the fields, etc., but just give them an impression. Listen, here is how we create a report, and this is the end result. So whenever we do a milestone report, this is what you can expect from us, and for this and this reason. So that would be much more high level. What I discussed yesterday related to the backend operations platform, and today, actually, Rakosi, I discussed the same with Seth from the community platform about recruitment and tasks, but we can go into the details later. I will also ask from you, Slate. My suggestion is that you make a video of this process like you did right now. And with in mind also other people in SingularityNet that might want to learn about this process. And actually, I think it's also useful for awarded teams to learn how we are doing this and with what intent and how much effort and attention we put to this. And then I would ask you and Rakosi to work together and see if we can use the same material that we use for internal, semi-internal purposes. If we can make it into a little bit more glossy, high-level marketing video of somewhere between 30 and 90 seconds, depending on the topic. So yeah, it looks lovely, and we should be proud of it. I really, really, really love the format of the reviews. I think it's great. We should advertise it. I think I once asked Victor when I first saw that template, go to Keller, show what great thing we have. But I don't think that happened for some reason, but I'm not sure. But it's never too late. By now, we might have seen some of these reports. But yeah, let's show people what we do. So great work. Yeah, the only thing, the last thing is, I was a little bit surprised to see suddenly a Google form for an integration with the backend office, while we're doing this all in an application. All the data is in the application, I suppose. And now we manually have to type it into a Google form. I imagine that probably can be improved.
Mm,
Yeah,
Uh,
so okay, Slate.
Yeah, so just some points that I would like to put out. So, we are also discussing this in regards to the video first. So we are also discussing this in review circle that uh, we're gonna like in each all hands we're gonna come in with some part of a presentation for which is related to the reviewers portal to be presented over here. So maybe if somebody else from other circles they want that component for them, they can use it because we use different type of things inside of this portal. And also, in case we are not presenting 1 week, then we're going to be putting out infographics and videos, like short videos, as you mentioned, in the All Circles channel for the portal working. But yeah, would love to collaborate with Rakosi for this, and yeah, definitely, it would be a good collaboration. The second thing, the operations form part. So, we are still submitting like 2 ways. We are also submitting over here. We are also submitting on the form that the operations had from the start. So it is just for data purposes, so they don't miss anything on their side as well. But we are going to be integrating an automation in between that the form gets submitted automatically, and if it's not submitted automatically, the data is shared in a uniform manner, so nobody misses anything in between. So for now, it's like this, but it will be upgraded to that version as well. Yes,
Great.
Rafa.
Great. Couldn't wish for more. And with all that video materials being created, I think also the future of our YouTube channel is looking bright.
Yeah,
So we're all contributing.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Slate and Paulo and Egu and all the review circle. Every time I see this, I have to say, wow, right? It's getting better and better and better from the first time that you presented, which was already good, right? On the videos, perhaps we have a short time frame for that. And I am talking about perhaps less than a week. So by doing these small videos and showing the circles would be amazing. And I would motivate you to still keep this. But we need something also for this week, right? If you may, if you can, please provide that. We had now it's recorded here. What you presented would be already something if you don't have the time, of course. But please, I would ask Rakosi to help Slate in this point here to present what we have. Even though it's amazing and I am amazed about it, I'm still trying to fit. Well, personal, we should be let's build all together, right? But the review circle went through this path. Okay, decisions that were made. It no problem at all. I don't have a strong feeling. However, the silo thing is still there. I would, for solving the, Jan mentioned it now, right? The form should be integrated, so we have to have this more streamlined. But also the single sign-on, we need it because people will have be using multiple systems. And I talked to you guys for the first time that you presented that this is a major problem. Don't downsize this problem of usability. It's very important. I'm not sure if you are working on that, okay? I'm just giving the feedback. If you are, great. If you are not, I would say, please stop the rest that you are doing on it and focus on this now and then get back to what you are doing, okay? But hey, the forms, I mean, for the reports, oh, that was a relief. And by the way, we have to have a meeting with Keller and please bring all of this to present to him as well. I'm going to invite you, Paulo and Egu. I'm building the message to him because we have to deal with other things. But before him taking a decision on the direction that he wants to go, I would like to show what you built. because it's really good. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Jan,
You
you're
are muted.
muted.
Thank you. This reminds me of another thing that I forgot. So the single sign-on, yeah, makes sense. Would be obvious to have that integrated. Shouldn't be too hard. But today I also had a conversation with a community portal who was working on the deep CMS. And one of the things that I told them, we shouldn't only be concerned about blogs and news and roles and tasks, but we could also have a link to create an RFP because that's already front-end thing, role-based. Anybody with the rights can go to the website and create an RFP, which would be interesting for customers. We could do the same with this. So first a question. If I'm a customer or a partner and I'm onboarding on the platform and I'm saying, let me do my own reviews. I don't need the review team to do that. I have my own people. They know everything about our solution. I would like them to do the reviews. Would those people, that partner, also be using this same platform?
Okay, so right now, no, they won't be able to do that. But since we have like everything developed in a component manner, so we have components for everything. It's not something like it's a rigid or one script based. It's components based. So what we'll have to do, we'll just create something like a project association with it. So anybody who comes in, they can create their own project instead of getting onboarded to the same one. So this can be done like with the structure that we have right now in the application. It's easy to implement that and get it in a project-based manner. So it would serve as a service at that point.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So then the next question would be if it would be available for a customer, would we require the customer to do it through our method and so on? There can be very good reasons for that because we want consistency, we want to have it correctly in our back office and so on. Or do we give the customer the choice? Well, we can also hand over all the reactions or proposals or whatever. You can look at them on the side and do whatever you like with it. That's a decision. Could even be case by case, but we need to put some thought into that, what we would like to see. The better this system is and the easier it is to use, the more attractive it will be. Even if a customer wants to have their own people using it, to use it in the same way as we do, and that's probably the ideal scenario. So yeah, I would like to invite you, Slate and Paulo, to think about integration of this system and maybe also some others. Also the task management I already mentioned before, which is also a front-end thing, and we should think about how to connect that with our backend and how what the role of the deep CMS is in that. Marcelo showed me today a very nice design of the deep CMS, which is now becoming more important if we want to have third parties using it and make it user-friendly. So yeah, that's the next stage in our evolvement, making deep funding not just a platform for third parties, but also, and that's a dot on the horizon, trying to make it into a potentially self-service platform where a customer can either say, you do everything for me, or they can do everything themselves. Here I am, I put money in my escrow, I publish the RFP, I select the winning proposal. Then the milestones come in, and either I allocate people to it or I use the services of the review circle or the operation team, and so on. So that's the way of thinking. And yeah, with that way of thinking, the single sign-on is indeed a good fit. So thanks for that, Rafa. Yeah, regarding on the video, I expect in the next week or so, I'll have a team with some people from a meeting with some people from SingularityNet and from us to talk them through all our internal processes or the ones that are most relevant to them. And it would be helpful to have that conversation after they have seen a video of it, because if I or somebody else has to go through all our system and click and show what it does, no way they are going to remember everything and understand everything we're doing and what it's about. So the best way would be to have them give them a number of videos so they can prepare, and then in the meeting we can answer their questions or deep dive or whatever. That's the reason for the short time frame. But that's it. Great work. Really happy to see this, and great that this happened in such a self-steering way. Well done.
Thank you, Jan.
All
Thank
right.
you, Rafael.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. I hope I didn't miss so much. I had some issues with my reception, but I'm sure it was a great presentation. Thank you, Slate. All right. We will move along now. This is going to not take a long time at all because we already shared in the all circles, and it's just simply some conversation going on about how we use the all circles. On impulse, at some levels, we were almost convinced that the right thing to do was to create other channels so that we can use the all circles for conversations that can easily be tracked, right? Instead of having things lost in announcements, updates, and events, and things like that. So without having to repeat everything that went on, this was live. I mean, people commented. It was also shared on the Loomio channel on all circle. I mean, on Mattermost. So I believe that we all saw that. I mean, obviously. So this is the outcome. I'm not, of course, trying to preempt anything or say anything, but it's just right on the screen here. Create separate channel. Light basically means do not create so many. Have one specific for announcement and updates. Keep the all circles for discussion. There are already channels for operations support, channels for IT support, channels for Loomio conversations, and things like that. So that has 45 points, 45% of all the points. Creating channels after brainstorming session comes next, right? And then the other one is create separate channel later. That is, use this right now as we have it. If it becomes overwhelming, then let's create another one. Summarily, looks like we have 75% saying let us create other channel, right? But I mean, this is supposed to not take so long, so I will allow people just to respond or talk about this. Yeah, I'm just talking exactly to what I see on the screen. Anybody wants to say anything? I do not see any hands up, so.
I think the most interesting part is that almost nobody wants to keep it as is. So it's a very clear decision. So good, I would say good experience, good survey, interesting, simple topic, and clear outcomes. So yeah, I'm happy with the process, happy with the outcome. And looking at it, most people are.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jan. So since I do not see any other hands, I assume that that speaks exactly to the clarity of the whole thing. So it's good that there are no disputes as regarding the outcome. That's a good one. All right, so we will move on to the final item on the agenda, and it is the deep strategy update. All right, and I think at the end of it, maybe we might also talk about the event of tomorrow, the chances of shifting it. But I mean, I just wanted to say that that's also something that we might discuss. But Jan, over to you. I saved all the big time for you, right?
So I have 8 minutes left, and now you're chipping away from
No,
the.
you have all the time now. You are free to use everything. There's no item coming after you.
Actually, I think we should try and stick to the time. I mean, we can probably easily fill an hour with this, but I can also do it rather quickly. The bottom line is the strategy is still a moving target. It's dynamic and things are ongoing. So let me instead of dwelling on it, let me give two relatively simple statements about it. The first thing that seems to be a de facto decision regarding our strategy, drum roll, is that we will in some way we will be merging deep funding with ambassadors and with BGI. So we'll have more things steered in a uniform way. The most likely outcome of this is that both ambassadors and BGI will be using the deep funding platform for things like payments, reporting, and those kind of things. That's not a decision yet. This is also one of the reasons why I'm pointing out the need for these videos and giving more transparency to the rest of the organization about all the things that we're doing. I expect probably next week we'll have this talk with Peter, with maybe Esther, with John, Ibby, I don't know, explaining them about our operations platform and about our processes and our operations and so on. And based on that, we can make a better informed decision of what we want. To be honest, also ambassadors has some administrative process and system that also has its own merits and benefits. So we'll have to look at that as well, see if there's some things we want or need to take over. Or if there's really good reason to keep it apart. I don't know. It's possible. I think it's unlikely, but it's possible. Also, the other part, and the second statement is not new, it's a repetition of what we said before, is that we will be working more project-oriented. And I actually said, instead of keeping these three entities very strictly separated in terms of budgets, etc., let's just put them together and look at each proposal on its own merit. So if we have a good proposal and we have the budget, then we can fund it. And I don't care whether it was some people from BGI or ambassadors or deep funding who came up with that project proposal. How that will be done is we need to define that. Who will make that decisions is not clear yet. Maybe I'll be part of a committee that makes that decision. Maybe those decisions will be made by SNET or Eightfold without even me in it. That's all on the table, or possibly haven't even touched on that topic yet. But imagine that there will be a process where we will issue projects, or where I think for the coming time, most initiatives, that is the thinking right now. Most initiatives will be initiated by Singularity. That they will be asking for, hey, we need a new hackathon, we need this, we need that. And then there will be an opportunity for all of us to wrap that into a project proposal and offer that. Maybe in some cases there will be some competition. Maybe in other cases we'll just pick a few people and ask them to do a task. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We are also thinking about the role of the platform in that whole thing. There is this idea of OfferNet, which is kind of abstract way of connecting supply and demand in ecosystems. There's another way of very pragmatically adjusting what we have today, for instance, in our RFP view, and adjust that to our own internal purposes as far as that needs to be done. Maybe we'll just do it very manually offline. And actually, I think we should start very simple. And for that reason, I would propose the 3 marketing circles to start with this process and start thinking about it. So is Beatrice in this call? Don't see her. I would like to. Oh yeah, but you have a different name, I think. Anyway, I would like to ask Bea if she could arrange a meeting for me, Rafa, and the three marketing circles, and we'll brainstorm a little bit on this project approach. And I would like the marketing circles, let's say two representatives of each circle. We have some flexibility there, but that would be a guideline because with 100 people or with 20 people, it's harder to discuss. So let's say with a few people from every circle, have that conversation. And I would like to ask you in advance to think about these questions. Which projects, which activities that we plan to do, that we want to do, could be wrapped in a project format. So maybe you want to do a hackathon, maybe you want to do a social media campaign, maybe you want to do something else. So think about it as a project and what would that project look like? The opposite of that is, are there things that definitely cannot be wrapped into a project or are not suitable for a project? And which type of work is that and why is that? And at first I thought, yeah, there are a lot of ongoing things and yeah, we can't make a project for every social media post. But we could make a project out of 3 months of social media posts with some KPIs. Well, we saw there's a great dashboard right now, so we can put that to work and put some KPIs there on what we want to. So I don't know what is the best way, whether it's better. And then the third option on the table perhaps could be, well, we pay somebody, we continue with an hourly basis for a certain task, and we will do that as needed. Or we could give somebody some flat fee to do some things for certain months without necessarily tying it into a project with specific outcomes, etc. So what I hope to achieve by doing this, so if you think about this, then in the meeting, let's hope we can schedule that next week. I would like to hear your answers to that. So that will be the main topic of that meeting, giving feedback on what you think would be appropriate for this project approach. We'll probably have a little bit of discussion and conversation about that. I'm still ideating on this. I don't have a fixed idea, and so it's still open and flexible. So this is a great opportunity for you to contribute to our thinking on this. Then a little bit further down the line, what I also hope will come out of this is that we will figure out what kind of different types of projects will come out of this. And it's still tied to these three circles, but I think it will give us a good idea. And maybe we'll see that every project is different. Maybe we'll see that at the end, there are 3 or 5 archetypes of projects. And then we can turn that into a kind of templates. And then we can maybe work about that in a more structured way in the future. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. Any questions so far?
All right, Andrea, that was very fast. Jan has been mentoring you.
Okay, super
All right,
fast.
Andrea,
Yeah.
please go
For marketing, I think it could work really well if we know in advance what we need to do. For example, the ideation challenge. If we want to create a project or a campaign for the ideation challenge, it would be necessary for marketing to know, I don't know, from 1 week. 1 week, 2 weeks would be better in advance, so we can, like establish how much time we will spend in how many videos, how many social media posts, etc. So I think it can work really, really well, but that's something we would need. But yeah, I guess this is something we can discuss in the call you mentioned. I just
Yeah,
want
so
to.
it's a very good point. So you or somebody mentioned also before that it's hard currently to do cross circle meeting. It takes more time. So what I expect is also with BGI and ambassadors coming in, there will be some reshuffling of circles and responsibilities, and I don't know exactly what that will look like. But I hope that the project approach will help to tear down these hurdles. Because in this case, what I would expect if somebody would have a project for an ideation challenge, then in that project approach for the ideation challenge, there would be an allocation for marketing. And then we have everything in one package. And that is also what we need to learn when we are creating these projects and these templates, that if for certain events, we should always have this marketing view on it. We should always make sure that there's always the checkbox from, did we think about social media? Did we think about the newsletter? Did we think about um, Rafa, I see you're thinking cubics right now, so that's the next step. But this would be a good ingredients to learn, so we can better program it later. What can be programmed? So yeah, good point, and yeah, that's one of the things we want to integrate here. Vani?
Yes, Vani, please.
Yeah, just this meeting that you were suggesting just there, Jan, for Beatrice to organise with the 3 marketing circles. I know that each of those 3 entities, they're quite different in how they organise, and it feels to me like we should invite them, invite the Ambassador Programme and BGI Nexus to say who they think should be at that meeting, rather than stipulating it needs to be your marketing group, because that might not be the best choice.
So there are a number of things going in parallel right here. So we're talking, so we have this channel, which we call the Commons channel, and there are a few people in it from Deep. There are a few people in it from Ambassador, from BGI, and from SingularityNet. And we're trying to figure it out how we can better work together, basically. And the integration of ambassadors, BGI and Deep is one topic. And doing things like a more project-based approach with or without something called offernet, which can have different meanings for different people, is another one. I proposed, instead of waiting for that discussion on how we integrate and what we will use and how we will do, we will get started already. Because actually, we already had that idea for a project-based approach a couple of months ago. We started ideating on that. At that time, we thought we started slowly with the marketing circle. That was the idea at that point in time. But with all the dynamics going on, I think we need to push a little bit harder and speed it up.
Oh, I'm
And
not
that's
denying that, Jan. Can I just say I'm not denying that we need to speed it up. I'm just questioning whether deep funding should be saying who should be there. I think we need to have community engagement from all of those 3 entities, and they should decide who needs to be there.
So I proposed in that comments channel, I said, does anybody mind if we are already starting with this project approach? Now, ambassadors are there and BGI are there. If they also want to be there, then they are invited. But we have our current circles, they have a current way of working, they have certain ideas. I would say if we now mix it up with ambassadors and BGI that have very different ideas and needs of what they want to do, we are complicating things. So I wouldn't be against, I would actually be in favor of BGI and ambassadors doing the same thing, saying, okay, let us also try and already write down some things as a project. Actually, I don't remember what the topic was, but I had that conversation with Esther where she had some idea and I said, wow, that's actually perfect for a project approach. So the more
Oh no, I think I might be getting the wrong end of the stick somewhere. I think I heard you saying that the architects of this process of how we get the three entities together would be the marketing circles of,
No.
and I'm saying no, that should not happen.
No. This is a common thing with a lot of people in the Commons channel, actually. So and yeah, I don't. So this is the typical Singularity Net, rather a little bit chaotic, flat progress. John has initiated it actually from Singularity Net, and he's guiding that. So I don't know what the dynamics will be and where we will go. I'm just giving my input and my observations and my ideas, and the others doing that as well.
I just think we need to be conscious that there's big communities behind the people who are paid in these organizations, and we want to make sure that they're heard.
Yeah. So the only thing what I'm trying to do with these three circles is to test the concept of turning hourly work into project work. And the circles know what they have been doing until now and what they were planning to do. So the question is, what would that work look like if we frame it like a project?
I'm
And
just
that
not
will-
clear how that's a marketing thing.
I don't see why that should not be. I could have asked the same thing to the review circle, to the onboarding circle, and I could ask the same thing to ambassadors and to whatever. But I figure we need to start somewhere. I started only with the marketing circle, and now I expanded that to the three circles, also because of that cross-circle dynamics. And I think what we are going to see in the coming year is we want to put a lot of effort in outreach. That would be a main target of the program. So hackathons, but also media and so on. So yeah, I think it's great to have the three circles coming together. A little bit three cultures. They're already together in meetings. They know each other. So this question from Andrea was actually a very appropriate one. If there is an ideation channel, we need to know that in advance. Well, we need to wrap that. So if there's a hackathon, instead, so I could have asked marketing what they wanted to do only, but by also having developer outreach and marketing together in this exercise, they can maybe now together make a project that includes both the social media outreach and the content creation and the actual coordination of the hackathon, etc. So and it's an experiment, it's a tryout, it's just about what we can continue to talk about projects in a very abstract way. But then half a year from now, there will be a real thing and we will be surprised because it's totally different than what we thought it is.
All
So
I'm saying though, Jan, is could we not ask BGI Nexus and ask the ambassador program to suggest who they think should go rather than just inviting what you see as their marketing circle? Because they don't really have a marketing circle in that sense.
So the reason why I'm a little bit reluctant here is that I'm afraid we will have different kind of discussions then. So we will have a discussion more about we want to do this, we want to do that. No, this is more needed. And for me, it's more about what does a project look like? And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter too much where it comes from.
I get that, but I think maybe if you frame what it is that you want the meeting to do and let the ambassador program and BGI Nexus decide who is best to go to that.
Yeah, I need to think a little bit about it. So I figured we are doing two things. We are merging organizations, but we're also transforming our process. And the way I looked at it is let us be a little bit on the forefront and experiment and try to figure out how this can work before we're adding other people. And we can show this is what we learned, and then we can add other people to it. So I'm still seeing a little bit of a risk if we are and trying to do the next thing, experiment and merge others at the same time. We will get into more complexity. So what I would prefer, Vani, is that ambassadors and BGI do the same thing, but separately. And then
Yeah, I
we'll
think
put
this is
all
getting
these
off on the wrong
projects
foot,
together.
though. Because the whole thing is, if we're going to unite those three entities properly, we can't expect for them all to map exactly to each other. And we're setting off on the foot of saying, okay, we've got a marketing circle. We expect that that will map to structures in your organization and
That's
your
not the case.
organization.
No, that's not the thing. We
Well,
don't
we
expect that. Actually, I expect that a half a year from now, nobody will identify themselves anymore with being an ambassador, being a BGI, or being deep that much. Maybe, I don't know at what speed, but that's what I'm actually steering for. So
has that been
um,
checked with the rest of the organizations, whether
I
that's what
think
they
you,
steer on?
sorry?
I said, has that been revealed to the other organizations? Is that what they're steering for?
Yes.
That's very much not what I'm hearing in the ambassador program. What
It-
I'm hearing is, oh, there's no attempt to like
Yeah, that's because maybe they're
just
not that informed as I am. So this is dynamic, right? This is a conversation we had last week.
yeah,
So I don't know when you got these.
yesterday.
So then maybe Peter hasn't informed the ambassadors about the discussions that are going on currently.
No, he has. He definitely has. But he said kind of that there's no intention to get rid of like the different identities or to try to completely erase the way that the different organizations work. It's an attempt to bring them together rather than to erase them.
Well, I'm not one, I wouldn't say, well, um, erasing is a very negative term. I'm not trying to erase anything. I'm trying to bring things together and merge them. And there are two ways, and this is still being discussed. One way would be to keep ambassadors really as they are today, with the same people, and keep them as an organization. And then perhaps, if we want, have them use the same backend as we are using, because then that's easier for payment and tracking and reporting. And we could have a budget allocation done in a uniform way. Based on proposals and projects. That is actually one of the proposals that I made at some point. My thinking goes much more in the direction of, instead of having separate organizations with separate budgets, let's put it all on one chunk, and let's look at each project on its own merit. And we can have 3 people from Ambassador with 5 people from Deep and 2 from BGI coming together doing one project.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you're thinking that I'm against that, because I'm not. I think it would be the ideal. But I just think in terms of how we do that process of uniting, we have to make sure that all of the 3 communities are heard. I'm just thinking it's just from having done, decades of community work where you often try to bring different groups and organizations together. It seems to always get things off on the wrong foot if you sort of tell people that if you kind of expect them to map closely to each other, and if you tell them, okay, we want this structure from your organization to come and talk to this, because they might be really dissimilar. And all I'm suggesting is maybe let each organization decide who is the best by defining what the meeting's about. And then they go, okay, these are the people that should be there.
Well, for the discussion that we have today, this is exactly the reason why at this stage, I think it's better we have this meeting only with our marketing circles, because otherwise, I'm very sure that this will be the topic of the meeting, and this doesn't cater for the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting is to learn how we can transition from an hourly based organization to a project based organization, and to learn how we need to format a project and what type of projects we have. It's not at this stage about collaboration. It's about collaboration maybe between the three circles to have that experience already. Collaboration between BGI ambassadors and Deep is a next stage, but I don't want to wait for that. I already want to do what we want to do and get our organization accustomed to this project-based way of working. Now, if in parallel we can do two things, we'll have another meeting where we talk about collaboration and etc. That's fine. I have no objection with that. The other thing we can do is we can also ask ambassadors and BGI to do the same exercise. Listen, if the things that you're doing today, if you would frame that into a project, what would that project look like? And then actually, I think that separation would be useful because then from three different entities, we would get a number of project templates or ideas or experiments or whatever. And we can learn from each other on the higher level. Hey, BGI has very different types of projects than we defined, and ambassadors also. Maybe that also gives some insights in whether we should or should not keep them separate as entities. Maybe we want to keep that culture. So, yeah, I'm not convinced that at this stage, for this purpose, bringing more people in that meeting
Oh, I'm
is.
not saying more. No, I'm not saying more. I'm saying like just say, all right, three people, who should they be? And let the entities themselves decide that. Definitely not saying it should be more.
So let me make this very clear. This meeting is about the marketing circles. It's about turning hours into templates. It's not about collaboration between ambassadors and BGI. Therefore, we had a discussion, but you haven't been able to convince me for this reason. So this
I just
meeting,
think you're missing what I'm saying. I'm really sorry.
yeah, maybe I am. Anybody else can shed some light on that, maybe?
Maybe Raphael.
Yeah,
Because
I
Raphael,
raised my
yeah.
I raised my hand to talk about another thing, but yeah, I do understand your point when you are talking about the integration of the three organizations or entities. Yes, but in this case, deep funding is the one that is putting together and formatting this project's approach, and the things that we are doing comes also with a lot of discussions that we had for the past year, perhaps, and expertise and so on. So for this specific case, we are testing, right? First, it doesn't mean that later we can't change something that was tested here and performed because ambassadors or BGI are not going to be suitable. But for now, it's what we have to do to move fast as well, in order to have some answer to some issues and problems that we're challenges that we're facing. So in this case, I believe it's the best way of going, definitely.
All right, Abdul.
Thank you, Ayo. I just want to clarify if I understand what Ian was actually trying to say regarding the meeting invitation. I think that is where Fanny is coming from. The meeting that Ian mentioned, the way I understand it, I want to explain. Then you confirm if it's true or I got it wrong as well. Ian is inviting the three circles and ask Beatrice to set up the call to lead the three circles to discuss on how we can transition from hourly based to project based. Then we learn from Deep what that kind of situation looks like before the three entities might possibly come together and have that kind of initiative executed. So, but the argument is probably Yan is actually trying to inviting the three circle only to meet with the other two entities. Why shouldn't it be that the entities actually decide who is part of the call? or perhaps, I don't know, if Fanny is saying, let marketing circle decide who should be joining the meeting from their circle. Yeah, that is where things get confused for me, to be honest. So what I understand in a short term, in a short note, is that Jan is inviting marketing circle, dev outreach, and event to come together and look into how we can transition into from hourly based to project based. That is what I think I picked from that invitation, a call invitation. I don't know if that is correct or not.
Could I just ask for there's something in the chat as well which would really clarify it. Judith saying that what you're actually asking is the 3 marketing circles in deep funding, and that's not what I thought you were saying. So if we could clarify that, then it would probably solve it.
Is that directed to Jan?
So I'm not quite
Yeah,
certain if I understand the question, but it's about the 3 marketing circles in deep funding that I'm asking for this.
Oh, blimey. All right then. Right, sorry. In that case, I
We
thought
need
you
to
were
have it.
saying you wanted the marketing circle in deep funding, the marketing circle in BGI Nexus, and the marketing circle in the ambassadors, 2 of
We
which
need a
do
new
not
name. We
exist.
need a new name. Definitely. We need a new name. It's marketing cluster
I
or
am so
something.
sorry,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
I hope you can at least appreciate that I was trying to stick up for the right thing, even if I misheard.
Yes, appreciate it. And very glad that we got that cleared up. And it makes now, in retrospect, a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Right.
if I may, it's just
Okay.
to, yeah, sometimes I'm a bit annoying because I really like to give the proper names to proper things, like onboarding platform, onboarding circle. So, hey guys, let's take different names. It's exactly to avoid this type of thing here. I know many people doesn't like, but it's well, here's the case. But getting back to my point or what I was raising the hand, Andrea and you in the marketing cluster. Let's put this way: the marketing circle, dev outreach circle, and event circle that's going to join this. The Jan's request is more on a list. Okay, make a list of what would be possible to become projects in your daily operations and in the future that you envision. And what this can't be a project, have a beginning, middle, and end. It has to be something ongoing, or try to focus the most, even if the first breath you say, this can't be a project. Try to think on how this can become a project, because it's way better for us to have everything. If we could, we'd have everything under a project, because operationally speaking, we'll be more efficient, less cost, and more, and also better for the use of all the members. Okay. So if it's, we need to have in advance the information 2 weeks, as you mentioned, which totally agree with you, right? It's not the case here that we are willing to achieve with this call. It's mostly the list with the what can be a project, what can't. And again, just to reinforce, projects are going, it's exactly to avoid this silo thing. Oh, we have an ideation challenge, so I have to know to create my thing. No, projects are supposed to come from a bigger scope. So we are going to have more. We are going to have operations, marketing. We are going to have events. We are going to have. I could put on an ideation challenge, which would be the perfect situation. Perfect. It's all the circles, because all the circles can contribute somehow with tasks in an ideation challenge, right? And that's the approach that we want to have: more integration, less silos. But for that, let's start with even internally. No, this is only market, can become a project, can't, and so on. Okay. Thank you.
If I may add, I can imagine there will be, I'm not even sure if we'll be calling it circles in the future, but there might be a circle which has an ambassador culture, being very bottom up. There might be a circle which has a BGI culture or scope or objective, being much about governance and decentralization and ethics. But if we have all of them on the same platform with the same way of working and the same processes, it's much easier for people to move from and in between these entities and be in multiple entities in the same time also. So that's what we're aiming for. So being merging, keeping culture, things I think we'll have to, it's also something we cannot just decide. It's something that will evolve over time, and we'll see, what kind of richness that will give us. Full stop.
All right. Thank you for saying full stop, because I may not have known. All right. Thank you very much. So we're wrapping up. It's been very, very nice, spirited, and very, encompassing conversations along several lines, from marketing analytics to review the new platform, to the updates, and then to decision making. So I think it's been really, really nice with cut across several. Now, this is going to be also very brief. We tentatively, according to plan, we have an event tomorrow, which is the half-yearly report for the H2 2025. All right, and I can tell that everyone has been working tirelessly to make this happen. Coordinators, filing reports, all the back and forth. But there is just one little thing, and it is the fact that the reports are quite comprehensive, which is a good thing, quite long. I think each report is averaging about 15 pages, if I am correct. So that's a lot of pages, right? And then that brings the question of having a summary, like some executive summary of everything in the first page. And so that is the and it's best if it comes from the coordinators. We will admit as the operation circle that this was something that we omitted. We should have asked for this from the get-go, to say, look, when you write all the reports, we love it, but it would be also nice to have a summary at the beginning, so that, if we don't want to read everything right now, we can have some summary, or if we need to represent what you have written so far in another document, we don't have to, misrepresent what exactly you're saying. So because the time is short and we don't want to have coordinators having to put summary within 24 hours, we are suggesting that we move the event of tomorrow to Wednesday, same time next week, right? So it will just come on Wednesday, and then we can have town hall the Thursday. Yeah, it's the same logic, Yeah, so we thought, let's discuss and see what people think. If you feel that you can get the summary in before tomorrow, okay, let's go get it. But yeah. So Andrea, no, Raphael of Event Circle, what do you think? Use all the wisdom that you've been gathering. Let us hear from you. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Sorry, when did you say is gonna happen? The next town hall?
Time. Next week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. UTC. Yeah, Raposi, please go ahead.
No, I was going to tell Andrea, don't interrupt. I was going to tell her not to interrupt. Let it go next Wednesday.
Okay.
I think we can ask if there are any objections from people. I think that could be important. From me, I don't think there are any objections.
All right. Thank you. I just wanted to hear your voice. Okay, because it's very strange to have an event. I know how Raphael says something. Okay, so thank you very much. It's been very good 2 hours. Thank you for everyone who joined, for all the conversation. We deeply appreciate it. Please do not forget to follow us on all our social media. Everything we do inside here makes sense if only the world gets to hear about us, right? And if we don't listen to ourselves, why should people listen to us? So please follow the funding on our social media. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Have a pleasant day, evening, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever it is. Bye.
You
Bye,
see,
guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
you just saved Rakosi, Ayo, so you can be happy. You've done your good deed for the day.
Exactly.
All right, bye bye, everyone.
That's great, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Interesting talk.
Bye.
Bye bye.